Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 15th of September. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, just wanted to run through the historical stats. Obviously, last week we had strongly bullish historical stats, and that delivered. This week is more neutral, but basically, the last bullish day we've got for a while is tomorrow. Which leans bullish about 70% on SPX and 80% on Dow and on Nasdaq. Then we've got neutral Wednesday and Thursday, and we've got a strongly bearish day, which is the start of a series on Friday the 19th. The week after that, we've got strongly bearish days on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We've got the only bullish day in the remainder of the month, apart from tomorrow. We've got on Friday the 26th. Then we've got a strongly bearish day on Tuesday the 30th, which is the last trading day of the month and quarter. October overall leans fairly neutral, but I'll be calling that as we go along. But we've got a bearish window here, and I'm wondering if it might deliver. Now, ideally, if it was to deliver, we'd see. We've already got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on ES. We've got one on NQ. We've got smaller amounts on various indices on 15-minute and hourly charts. I'm thinking we might see a sharp decline today. Ideally, that would leave us with a close down, because on the daily charts, that might give us a chance on a retest of the highs tomorrow of some daily sell signals, which would be nice to see, and that would be the obvious way for those to form. So we'll see how that goes. In the short term, we're opening up, but we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed on ES. And we're opening up on NQ. That obviously made the target at a retest of this high last week. We've made it on Qs already, and we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed there too. We've also got a pretty decent looking, rising wedge here. Although my trend line's moved overnight, so I'll move that back again. And I'm wondering whether that might deliver. That might be showing us the way that this will turn. But actually, that's pretty nice. And if the resistance holds, we're pretty close to the high now. We will see how that develops. But we've got mildly bullish leaning stats today, and obviously strongly tomorrow. But we've got these sell signals. I'm thinking that might deliver a sharp retracement today. Ideally, if that held into the close, that could set up the week quite nicely, and next week as well. RTY. We haven't made it up to the retest of the all-time high, but we're getting pretty close now. I'm expecting to see that in the next few weeks. It is just possible we might see that in the next couple of days, but I'm not seeing that as a main target. Looking at Dow, we saw a bit of weakness towards the end of last week. Got a pretty decent-looking rising wedge here too, so I'm watching that with interest. But wouldn't be surprised to see this go a bit higher. DAX still looks like a bear flag forming. The STX looks as though it might actually make this low-quality IHS target. We had a back test. It's continuing up. For what it's worth, I've got that target up in about the 54.90 area, and I'm thinking that might deliver, so we shall see. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts, and looking at the ES chart. I've rolled this into December. I've rolled NQ and RTY and YM as well. So no current divergence, but you can see what I'm hoping to see. If we could see a down close today, then we could see ideally getting down to the 70 area here. Then we could see a retest of the high tomorrow, and if that delivered a lower high, that could set up a nice daily RSI 5 sell signal, which would be very nice to see. So fingers crossed we might see that today. SPX made the targets. We've killed off any short-term double top setup we had here. So at the moment, we don't really have a topping setup of any kind, although we've got a couple of possible head and shoulder necklines. We do have on the hourly chart a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed. That could, if we don't see much of a retracement today, that could develop into a full RSI 14 sell signal tomorrow. And we've got a full RSI 5 sell signal fixed as well. Looking at the 15-minute chart, we've also got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed there. Looking at Qs, obviously we've finally clawed our way back up into the retest of this high. We're not We've got a potential double top here. It's really the only decent pattern on any of the indices of this size, so I'm not taking it particularly seriously, but I'm watching it with interest. And if we see higher highs this morning, we can see hourly sell signals fix here on the Qs today. Looking at Dire has gone a bit higher, and that killed off the nice looking double top that we had there. We've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. On the hourly chart, no current divergence, but if we see retest the highs this morning, of which there's currently no particular sign, then we could set up an hourly sell signal there. But if we're going to see those, the main prospects are SPX and the Qs. We're obviously over the obvious resistance trend line there. I look at these in more detail in the post today, though I am wondering if this might extend higher here, but that doesn't need to be done now. All right, looking at IWM. On the daily chart, we got pretty close. We got to 240.93, and the all-time high is at 243.04. I'm really expecting to see that target made, but it doesn't need to be made tomorrow, but it could be made tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching that with interest, but currently doesn't look as though that's likely to happen this week. We'll see. If we see a really strong day tomorrow, though, it could do that. And that is the main target here. This is an extension target here, but the main target is the retest of the high. Looking at we've also already got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed there, and we've also got an RSI 5 sell signal, but if we have a really strong day tomorrow and we do make that target, then we could lose that RSI 5 sell signal. On the hourly chart, possible little level top here, but it's not a pattern of any size. Nothing in terms of the hourly divergence, but we're pretty close to the resistance trend line here, so we've got a fair amount of resistance that I'm looking for there. DAX got nowhere near its back test of the daily middle band or the 50 DMA last week, and this does look like a bear flag short term. Nikkei has gone higher into the 45,600 area. I'm wondering about a possible test of this wedge resistance trend line, which I've got in about the 45,500 area. So watching that with great interest today. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX. Still trading sideways, kind of lost in space at the moment. I was reviewing all the currency charts yesterday, the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But on the main pattern here, I'm kind of leaning towards seeing a retest of the low, which I think is at 96.32 on the spot chart. On ZB, we've got some sell signals here, buy signals on the yield, sell signals on the bonds, suggesting that we're going to see some more downside soon. If we saw a retest, I was mentioning yesterday, if we saw a retest of the high today, then we could set up potentially, I think, full sell signals praying. So as long as, of course, RSI stays under the previous high. Looking at ZN, we've got 60-minute sell signals reached possible near this target. Looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of a move up here today. Not obvious that that would be forming any kind of decent reversal pattern. CL, hovering around the weekly pivot. I've got an overall lean down here. It's not a very strong lean down. I don't really have any targets below, apart from this bear flag target, which is basically at a retest this low here. I've drawn the line to show where that is. That's in about the 61.3 area. HO is looking as though it might retest this high. RBOB, more uncertain here, but overall on the oils, I'm leaning towards the downside. NG, I'm thinking, well, we've seen a break back below the monthly pivot. This was on a daily RSI 5 sell signal that's fixed, and that has now reached the possible near miss target. But I am thinking over the next 3 months we might see an increase of a buck or so, maybe more, as we go into winter, and this could be a nice looking reversal pattern forming. Ideally, with the breakdown below the monthly pivot, back test to the monthly pivot that held, ideally we would go down and retest the low here. That could be a very nice looking second low of a double bottom, which could set up a move which could take us up that buck. Having said that, if you weren't thinking of going long NG, I would note that it's basically that really is the minimum that's priced in. So just having a look here. Sorry, I haven't looked at this in a couple of days, but basically we're looking at a move up here, which would be just over a buck. This was actually up at about $1.50, but it's narrowed since then. But it is assuming over the next 3 rolls that we're going to go up $1.50 at the moment. So this is while there is a seasonal period of this going up, that doesn't necessarily make this a long, of course. All right, GC. GC, this looks like a consolidation triangle setting up a retest of this high. SI, we had a nice looking double top here last week, and that failed, and has backtested the broken high. I'm wondering whether this might be the start of a move up to retest the all-time high at 49.51. Palladium, we've got an IHS which is broken up here. That could be failing. We had a 60-minute sell signal as reached possible near this target. This should still turn around and make that target, which I've got in about the 13.06 to 8 area. Platinum, wondering about a retest of this high. Seems to be having mixed feelings about it at the moment. HG, I'm still thinking this is a very, very long bear flag forming, and that ultimately that'll drop a small amount and retest this low here in about the 4.39 area. 60-minute sell signal is fixed, hasn't made target yet. Not a lot to see on the currencies this morning. KC, we broke the double top here and we're breaking higher, and I'm expecting this to go higher into a retest of the main high. I was talking about this on the bigger picture yesterday. SB, I'm thinking might be making a significant low here. 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. CC, CC could be bottoming out here. Keeping an open mind. No obvious reversal pattern yet. CT, we've got a potential double bottom here, but I'm thinking that this could well be setting up a significant move up over the next few months. Lumber, we've already got a very large double top, which is far too large to fit on this chart. Lumber, got a nice looking double bottom here. We've got some positive divergence on the daily chart, and I'm wondering whether we're going to see a move up and head up to a target, which I think would be in about the 640 area, I think. Haven't drawn in the arrows because we're not close to the target yet, but that would be, hang on a second, where would that be? That would be in about the 645 area, I think. All right, ZW, I'm thinking this is a double bottom. It's starting to break up here, and I'm thinking this could be a larger IHS here with that neckline in about the 535 area on corn. Corn, nice looking double top here, which is again broken up. I wouldn't be surprised to see this go higher. Soy, I think is forming a bigger picture bear flag, but it could go higher within that bear flag. So at the moment, back over the weekly pivot and looking higher potentially, we could set up some negative divergence on a retest of this high. On ZL, I'm wondering about an IHS forming here, but we need a right shoulder to come back and back test the weekly pivot. We do have a possible hourly 60-minute sell signal break. Live cattle, we've got a nice looking double bottom here, which I'm thinking might deliver. If so, that wouldn't get us back up into a retest of the high, but it might be a move which would get us there after that. And lean hogs, we've got 6-minute sell signal fixed. That hasn't really prevented it going up these last two highs, and we've pretty much broken out of this rising mega flag. So, but I am thinking this might deliver a larger retrace than we have so far seen, and I'm wondering about possible retest of this level here, 95, if this is a head and shoulders forming. All right, great. Let's have a look at the questions, of which we have none. All right, guys, in that case, my pleasure as always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.